Hey guys, Panak and Kale here, and today we're going to be doing a teardown of the Logitech m185 mouse in order to see what's inside and a full tour of each component. Let's get started. Okay, so for what you're going to need for this teardown, you're going to need the mouse itself and just a simple Phillips screwdriver, nothing fancy. Safety, make sure that you take out the battery beforehand. And if you happen to store your USB dongle or adapter in here, also take that out. Okay, to get started with the teardown, let's first take off the back socket. And if you look very closely, you will see a screw right here. So, let's take out the screw by just inserting our Phillips screwdriver and just taking out this one small black screw, which should just come off. Where did it go? Like that. Now also make sure that you have a safe spot to keep all the things that you will remove in this teardown. Now that you've got the screw removed, all we have to do is pull back on the shell and it'll come off with just a little bit of force. And before we get onto the main board, let's take a close look at this shell. This shell is composed of the scroll wheel, which is controlled by this little plastic mechanism, very simple, and a spring coil. And finally, these can actually also come off with the help of some snaps, but we aren't going to be doing that because we're just going to mostly be examining the board. But how this shell is constructed is pretty interesting. And Logitech does have a good reputation for quality, but then again, cheap plastic. So let's go to the main board now and put our shell away. Okay, now let's take a look at the main board. Now, it's important to look for how to remove these boards. So if you could see, there's a little notch here and a little notch here that we need to pull back in order to get to the board. So just pulling back the first one should be able to give you a strong grip. Next, pull the battery leads out and then take this plastic shell and put it somewhere safe. And now let's investigate the main board. Let's look at this main board. Now it's important to make sure you grab it by the edges. That way it reduces our risk of shock. But however, since this hasn't had that much of this doesn't have any electrical source, we should be safe. However, static electricity isn't really good for electronics, so just make sure you're careful. And also, all these solder joints on the bottom are sharp, so be careful about that as well. So let's investigate the board. So right here we have this blue sensor, this black sensor are what is used to control our scroll wheel. So when you scroll, these sensors pick up the movement and then it allows you to scroll. Then we have these two buttons. Now these are a little obvious. These are the mouse buttons. Next we have the button. Now this button is used for when you push down on the scroll wheel and using that, it clicks this button and then, well, sensor responds to the computer. Now, this wire right here is what controls the optical sensor for the mouse to actually work. Now, this optical sensor is back here, and obviously if we were going to grab the case, we would see the hole that this optical thing would be coming out of. Now, the heart of all this is this small little chip right here, and that failed, and another chip right here. Now this chip is actually an additional chip soldered on by Logitech, which allows the optical sensor to work. And you may be wondering, wait, there's a circuit board up here. That must be the controller as well. No, this is just a simple circuit connection that allows the optical sensor to connect to the wire without any crazy soldering. It just makes life easier, people. Finally, this is the battery area. This is where, you take your battery, put it in. We're not going to be doing that. It probably won't even stay on. And a lot of you people may be wondering, what's this? This is actually called a crystal. Crystals do things like control electricity flow and things like that. If you could also see, you'll see a ton of other boards that's all just for controlling, you know, managing electrical flow. You should really, everybody should probably read on all these things. And finally, over here, you may be wondering what the solder blob is. This is mostly for the battery terminal connections, and this switch is what is the on and off switch. It's set it on, you can switch it on and off. This is where the battery backup also works. So, yeah, that's a complete rundown of the board. Now, actually putting this mouse back together was not that much of a hassle. All you simply have to do is just repeat all the same steps all over again, and it should be pretty easy. Now, you actually see me over here struggling with putting it in, and that's because I wasn't paying attention, and I was just putting it in at the wrong angle all the time. I even tried to actually break it later on. I just didn't show it in the recording. Here it looks like I got it. Nope, I didn't get it. I eventually just like take it out of the camera and just like quickly fix it, because magically the minute I take it out of the camera it works. So there's that. And now I come back, got it on, and all you have to do is just put the screw back in. I started hitting it on a table because the screw went inside. Be careful of that. And you just gotta screw it in. Just screw it in. Just screw it in. Okay, that's terrible. And then you just put the battery back in, and the case and the transmitter back in, and you should be good. And yeah, just test it before everything is gone bad. So yeah. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I would like to say one thing is that if you do actually want to do something like repair, like, you know, let's say one of the mouse switches aren't working, you could actually fix that switch with just a little lithium grease or WD-40, or if you happen to have a soldering iron and know how to solder, you can actually order replacement parts like the sensors and this and that off of places like Newegg and Radio Shack and like Fry's Electronics. You know, any place where you can get electronic components. And you can also get some of these parts off of Logitech's website for any quick repairs. And yeah, I think really if you want to just look inside your mouse, you know, look up something like the diagram schematics of your mouse and make sure that you have something like the proper tools like a Phillips screwdriver and other things like that. So hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good one. And like, share, and comment. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy weekly or whatever time I upload content. Alright, see you guys.